Good afternoon and welcome back to EDS News. I am Daniela Torres as we gather more details on the aftermath of the Vietnam War. Tonight we cover those personally affected by the war, from PTSD to a soldier who faced life or limb, to the tragedy story of an army wife whose husband died in battle.
We're here with James Maslow.
Hello, I'm James Maslow. I'm from Oregon. I was in the U.S. Army, 4th Infantry. That was my final rank. I started from 1968 to 1970.
How long were you in the war for?
From 1968 to 1970.
When did you get drafted? And tell me about your experience from start to finish.
Okay. So in 1968, I got onto a plane. Then I got onto a bus. Very traumatic experience. There was expanded metal on the windows of the bus to keep grenades out. They said you're in the Delta Company, 3rd of 12, 4th Infantry Division. The sergeant of the bunker said, "Here's your box." There was so much ammo, he handed me a motor. I got on a chopper, got off on a hill, and walked for 6 hours. We set up a camp. Throughout the war, I watched many of my friends die. My first witness of a kill was when the Viet Cong were coming towards us on a trail. One of the members of the Viet Cong saw a peach can on the floor. When he looked up, he was shot 16 times. I was injured in a huge firefight at LZ Swice. A piece of metal hit my ankle. After everything in 1970, I returned to Oregon. I went to go get a job, and they put me on a waiting list. I said, "Stuff it," and went to work. 5 years later, I catch myself crying. 3 months later, my life came crashing. I couldn't walk, talk. The war was stuck in my brain. No one could tell me what I had. They diagnosed me as a schizophrenic with paranoia. I wanted to die from the pain, but this medic said, "Stop feeding the dragons and they'll die off." That's how I cope with what's now known as PTSD.
What's the hardest part of it? Not knowing where they are, that's the worst thing. Riding around, running the sewers and the gutters, anywhere. Be anywhere. Just hope you can stay alive from day to day. Everybody just wants to go back home and go to school. That's about it.
You lost any friends?
Quite a few. We lost one the other day. The whole thing stinks, really.
So now on to the story of an army wife who had lost her husband in the war.
My husband was drafted to fight in the Vietnam War. He used to send me letters about how difficult it was to fight in the jungles. They were always looking for ambushes that the Viet Cong had somewhere. They didn't have any type of break. He saw his friends being shot and he shoot many people. He was part of My Lai massacre. He used, through the letters, I think that he changed. And I don't know, he used to tell me about many nightmares that he used to have, seeing those people that he killed. And I lost him.
Our next story is about a man who got his leg amputated during the Vietnam War.
Senior Chief Baxter, can you please describe your experience during the Vietnam War?
It was a very testing one. Vietnam was difficult, having to march through rice paddies and deal with the Viet Cong. They were hidden in the jungle. They were masters of disguise, masters of camouflage. We really didn't know where they were, so no matter where we went, it was very difficult to protect yourself and your fellow soldiers.
How has your life changed after becoming an amputee?
I lean a lot. That's a joke. Anyway, well, with modern prosthetics, it has not been that difficult, but there are still some challenges to it.
A conference was held in Geneva, Switzerland, where several nations met. An agreement was signed, and France had to withdraw their troops. And Vietnam would be divided on the 17th parallel temporarily until an election for president would be held to unite the country again. After the Gulf of Tonkin incident, a resolution was created as Congress passed a law in which allows the President of the United States military power to take all precautious decisions to stop further attacks. During the Vietnam New Year, there was supposed to be no fighting, yet cities were attacked and people were killed. This event was also known as Tet Offensive. Live women and innocent children were murdered in a village, which then led to protests sparking in the United States as it was seen as horrid and wrong. This event was also known as the Lime Massacre.